Good day everyone. Thank you for coming even though everyone is busy. Today I want to share something important which is something that will change the way we used to do our daily work.
When I hear the word important, it already feels a bit different, like something that is about to happen.
Yes, there are changes that we will implement after this. Our working system will be enhanced with AI.
AI, I have heard about it before, but honestly, I'm not really sure what the impact on will be on us.
I actually think this thing is interesting. Maybe it can help us do work faster.
But I'm sorry, nowadays there are many stories about human jobs being replaced by technology.
I understand all your concern, but the purpose is not to replace anyone.
If it is not replacing, does it just support us? Or will it also change the way we work?
It is meant to help us reduce repetitive work so we can focus on important things.
If that's the case, maybe work will be less stressful because we don't have to do these same things many times.
But what if over time it takes over our tasks? That is what I'm really afraid of.
I also think about the same thing. Sometimes things that help can change later.
I hear all your concern and I want to make it clear again. This AI is not a replacement for humans. NURUL is important in every organization.
If that's the case, maybe we need to learn how to use it properly so we don't get left behind.
Yeah, maybe that's the best way so we don't think overthink too much.
At least if we understand it, we will overthink so much because right now many things are still unclear.
Correct. After this, we will have training session so everyone understands how it works.
Since the meeting just now, I keep thinking. Honestly, I still think uneasy. Why?
About the AI thing?
Yeah, it's feel like something is going to change, but I don't know how to big impact will be.
That is actually a normal when something new is introduced. Our brain automatically become alert and there is uncertainty.
But what only is also true. When there is no certainty, it is hard to stay calm.
But I tried to look from another side. Maybe it is an opportunity for us to upgrade ourselves.
Upgrade how? I'm scared we might become not relevant. Not necessarily not relevant. Maybe only the way we stand will change.
And when the way of work change, we also need to change the way we think.
True.
If we learn daily, we can actually go ahead of others.
I'm scared of losing control, like the work we usually do suddenly is not as doing it anymore. That feeling is normal, but try to think it's not losing, it's just changing.
Sometimes we feel losing, but because we don't feel understood. I also do think like that, but once I tried to understand, it was as bad as I thought.
I'm just worried my role won't be important anymore after this.
Your role does not disappear, it evolves. Only the functions. And every change actually opens new space. We just can't see it here. Maybe later we will do it with more meaningful work, not just with the public.
But it's hard to remove this fear. It just comes by itself.
It's okay to be afraid. What matters is we don't stop because of fear. Everyone takes different time to adapt. No one becomes okay immediately. At the end, this is about mindset, not just AI.
Maybe true. I just need a bit of time to understand all this.
I noticed in the announcement, the team atmosphere has changed. People seem quicker than usual.
Yes, I feel that too. Like everyone is thinking about their own things.
When something uncertain happens, people naturally become more silent.
And when there is no clarity, our mind feels nervous, possible stories. That's what I am worried about. If it continues, its may affect work performance.
I see some already thinking even their work is getting slower.
Sometimes people don't say anything, but in their minds, there are too many.
Silence is actually a kind of stress too. It is just a sound barrier. Maybe we need to improve our communication so everyone understands the real situation better.
Yes, because now many people feel uncertain and needing understanding and easy to work.
And when that worry builds up, motivation slowly drops.
True, it's not only because of AI, but because of lack of clear information. So, we need to be more open with faculty, give them more explanation.
Yes, and not just explanation counts, maybe we need to keep listening to them.
Because people don't just need information, they also need to feel safe.
And when quotes are there, only then they can put them again. I think that is my responsibility as a leader. I need to make sure that they feel alert in this.
I try to focus on what I do, but I just do not. My mind keep going back to the same thing. About the AI thing, yeah, I keep thinking, what if I can keep up this change? It feels like I'm already falling behind even before trying.
That's actually normal. When something new comes in, our mind tends to panic first.
I cannot deny that idea. I've also been thinking far ahead, like what the long term impact will be. Technology is moving so fast these days. Sometimes it feels like we cannot even catch up.
Like if we focus too much on fear, we end up limiting ourselves.
I'm trying to stay calm, but it's hard. Everything just feels uncertain.
That's why we need to separate fear from fact and mix both together.
True, sometimes we overthinking things that haven't even happened yet.
And when that happens, our work get affected too, because our focus is not on the day.
I feel like my brain is trying to, like maybe I'm just not good enough.
It's not because you are not good enough, it's because the situation itself makes everyone feel this way.
I feel the same, honestly, but maybe this is the first time for us to challenge ourselves a bit. We cannot avoid change forever.
We are all still adjusting to something new. Nobody is fully okay yet.
But how do we stay calm when everything feels so unclear?
We need to look at that first, understand the system instead of assuming things on our own.
Yeah, maybe we are just jumping to conclusion without fully understanding it.
And we do not to go through this alone. We can support each other. That's what will actually determine on our success in the end.
Hearing that, I feel a bit relieved. Maybe I was just too scared from the beginning.
It's okay to feel scared, just don't let that fear control your decisions.
I have reviewed the two performance today. I can clearly see a drop in their voice. I noticed the same thing. Many of them seem less confident in their own mood. That's what I really worried about since we introduced this system. This kind of reaction was expected, but it is still has an impact.
Exactly. When people don't understand something, they feel detached from their own assumptions.
And most of the time, the assumptions are negative. They immediately think of the worst case scenario.
This words can affect performance if it is not managed properly. Not this rule, but also involves emotion. So we need to address both issues at once, emotion and understanding. Maybe we need to create a space for them to express all this. Right now, many are keeping it to themselves. Yes, when kids are open up for children, the pressure comes heavy. And when people feel unheard, they tend to withdraw even more. So, we don't just need to expand the system, we also need to re-educate them emotionally. And open session might help so they feel safe to speak up. At least they feel their voice matters, like a lot and reduce the number of people. And once they feel that, they will be more open to accepting change. Alright, we plan for more open communication session after this. So this session doesn't go backward.
A few moments later.
I just tried the system in. Honestly, it wasn't as difficult as I expected. How did it help me? It got me step by step, so I didn't feel lost.
That's interesting. Something that looked difficult before now feels easier once you try it yourself.
I noticed the sun came to me and this it felt a bit scary, but after trying it was actually okay. But don't forget, just knowing how to use it is not enough. We also need to understand how it works.
You mean it's not just about looking at it?
Exactly, we need to understand what's happening in the system we can really truly understand.
Sometimes the things we fear are only scary because we never experienced them before.
True, once we see it in front of us, the fear becomes smaller.
I think our imagination makes things look worse than they really are. Reality isn't that bad.
That's why training is important. It does, but knowing into understanding.
And when we understand, fear slowly fades away. It might be real, but it still works.
I think if anyone tries to be himself, people will change their perspective.
Yeah, because when we experience it directly, we don't rely too much on assumption. And that's what we actually need.
I have received that some millennials are struggling to stay focused. This is starting to impact our learning average.
I've noticed the same things. Even experienced staff are starting to show signs of doubt. They are not just worried anymore, they are starting to think of it. And if we introduce this system typically without enough emotional preparation, that could be why they are reacting this way.
Yes, that's possible. But now we need to find a way to fit the situation.
If we leave it like this, performance will definitely drop. We are already seeing the effect.
The big issue is the loss of confidence in person unsure about what they do next.
When people don't fully understand something, it is very easy for fear to take over.
We cannot let this continue. We need to stabilize the situation.
I think we need to rebuild their confidence first. That's what they are looking the most right now.
Confidence comes from support and from feeling that there are not enough pieces, and also from clear information and
Otherwise, they will keep imagining worse case scenarios, and that's even more dangerous. Take words right now, it will seem reachable.
Yes, but we need to be consistent. One explanation is not enough.
I feel like I can't handle all this anymore. Every time I try to focus, I feel like I'm falling behind everyone. It's really exhausting thinking about what might happen next. That's normal when too many things happen at once. I feel good memory gets so far. I keep thinking about the future, so that I never try my own too. When things feel uncertain, the mind naturally fills the gaps with assumptions. You do not have to carry all of that alone, and everything still one thing. I feel like I'm really fine. Everyone else seems fine. Not necessarily a lot of people left the point on the outside, but you don't know what's going on inside. And when you compare yourself to others, you always feel like you're the weakest one. You just need time to adjust. No one becomes comfortable with change instantly. But what if I'm really not good enough? I'm scared I can't keep up with all this. It's not about being good enough or not. It's about learning through the process. Everyone has their own pace. Some are fast, some are slow. But that does not mean anyone is weaker. Just learning something new. I feel like I'm not good enough for, like I'm still not good enough. Should we really not? Sometimes we forget what we already achieved because we only look at what was not done. But you are still moving forward, even if it is slow, it is still progress. So I can still learn even if I am slow. I won't be left behind. I think it's not help to find the road. And you're not alone in this. Everyone is getting together. The important thing is not to stop because of fear, just keep going if it's slow. Any longer, the current situation is starting to look unstable.
I agree. I have noticed it so it's already affecting their daily focus at work.
Right now, we need to think about how to reduce their confidence. Yes, when confidence drops, everything else becomes slower and less smooth.
Maybe we should organize an open forum session so they can express what they are feeling.
That's the idea. Many of them are keeping things to themselves, so we don't really know the real situation. But when we do it,
We need to make sure our answers are clear,
not to be good,
or if we confuse them even more.
exactly.
We need to be direct about what can and cannot do so there is no misunderstanding.
Yes, because transparency is important. The clearer we are, the easier it is for them to accept.
At the same time, we also need to show support, not just listen and stay silent after that. Support has to be continuous, not just a one-time thing.
Then we should not delay this anymore.
Faster we act, the faster things can stabilize.
Alright, let's arrange it as soon as possible this week.
I already got this improvement in how I do my work. This is the red hot spray time. That's good, but don't become too dependent on it.
Yeah, actually that's a good sign. It means you are starting to adapt.
I also feel more comfortable now, not like the beginning.
That's because you try it yourself, not just watch it from a distance.
Exactly. When we try, we start to understand. And when we understand, the fear becomes smaller.
But we must remember one thing, balance is too important. You may not relying 100% on AI, Yes, we still need to use our own judgment. We can't be everything to the system.
I feel like I'm not that scared anymore. Is it more like, okay, I can handle this now?
That's because we face it instead of avoiding it. Honestly, when we face it, it's never as bad as we imagine. True, facing fear reduces its power, but avoiding it only makes it grow bigger. Even small actions are enough to feel confident. It does not have to be perfect.
I think after we feel the same, if they try it, they just need a little push.
Yeah, sometimes they're scared before even trying, but once they do, it's actually not too hard.
I have been observing the team today. Even though everyone is working as usual, something feels different. Yeah, I feel it too. It's like everyone has become more silent than before.
Not just silent, they feel like everyone is stuck in their own.
When the mind is distracted, it becomes hard to fully focus on work. What worries me is that they need physical reason, but mentally they are not fully here. I have noticed even small tasks are taking longer. They are overthinking too much.
Studying is the favorite part, not knowing what will happen next.
And when someone feels unsafe, they tend to shut down without reason. That's dangerous. Not everyone will openly say what they are feeling. Exactly, when silence continues for too long, we do realize the problem is getting you.
Silence does not mean everything is okay. Sometimes it means they are struggling.
Sometimes people don't express anything, but inside they are already overwhelmed. I am worried if we are impatient. Please make it worse. We can't wait anymore. We need to act now.
Maybe we should approach them individually, not just collectively.
Yes, because everyone reacts differently. Not everyone is comfortable speaking in groups. Alright, we need to get close to them so we don't feel like they are going to disagree. I just review the feedback from the team. Emotional pressure is high, even though training has been conducted. Yes, I noticed that too. They are trying to adapt to the change, but at the same time, they are still afraid. It's clear now that technical training alone is not enough. The issue is not just about using the system. Yes, it is now about how they think and respond to change, not just things. That's what I'm really worried about. If we don't guide them properly, we might lose their trust. Trust is very important. If it's lost, it's very hard to rebuild. That's why we can treat support as a one-time effort. It has to be consistent, not just a single meeting. Exactly. When support is continuous, only then they feel that we genuinely care. We need to guide them through this process only. We can force them to be okay immediately. Because everyone takes different time to adapt, this cannot be the same for everyone. And if we ignore the emotional side, the impact could become much bigger later. It is not just a system change, it is a change in how the minds work and think. So our focus now is not only on implementing AI, but also making sure the people within the system are not left behind.
Thank you everyone for being here today. This is a sweet place, so feel free to share what's on your mind. I've been quiet. I'm really scared, not just a little, but truly afraid of being replaced. Thank you for having the courage to say that. Not everyone is able to express it like you just.
You are not alone in feeling that way. Many people are actually feeling the same thing.
That's exactly why we are having session like this. So no one feels like they are facing in this situation. I'm just afraid that's all the work and effort has put in before we become leaders. That is what we honor the most. Everything we have done still have value. That doesn't not disappear just because of system change.
Exactly. There are things only human can do, and these are really very much needed.
But the fear is still there. It comes even when I don't want to give. That's normal. Change is never comfortable at the beginning. What's matter is you are still here, still contributing. That alone already means something.
And we are all learning same thing right now. No one is being left behind.
The I is there to support for our work, not to replace us. Every one of you is still very important to this organization.
When we express what we are keeping inside, the pressure doesn't feel lighter. And when we feel other people's experiences, we start to see the situation. This quote has me early, and that is not easy, but it's really good step. I'm still there, especially like I feel like I'm starting to understand things better. Understanding doesn't come instantly. It takes time and also experience. And as we begin to understand how that feeling really starts to slow down, whatever is that you have started moving in that direction, you are not just silent and keeping it all to yourself. Yeah, maybe I just need time to get used to it. I can't force myself to be okay right away. Yeah, exactly. Time and exposure to real situation really help. When we experience things ourselves, we understand the ground better. And that's what we ask you now. So, but it is change. You have shown progress even if it's smaller.
I can see change in the team now. We have started to refocus the leader. Yeah, even the atmosphere isn't as tense as it used to be. It feels a bit calm.
I think because communication has improved and they are starting to see support.
Exactly. When people understand what's going on, that fear naturally start to decrease. This makes us realize that our release is not just about giving instruction, but helping them to go through the change. True, leadership isn't not only about making decisions, but guiding people through uncertain situations.
And we are not doing all this freedom. Everyone in the team has their own role.
That is what makes things more stable now, effort coming from all directions. I agree, change is not easy, but when it's handled properly, the results start to show. And now we can slowly see the impact, more controlled, more stable.
Most importantly, people are starting to trust the progress we do. That's actually the biggest thing.
Yeah, because teamwork has always been the foundation. We just sometimes forget it when failure hits.
When I look back at the team progress now, I feel relieved. They have gone through a hard transformation from the beginning until now.
That's true, not just in terms of scale, but in way of thinking has changed too. That's actually the most important part of change. From fear and doubt, they are not starting to gain understanding, even though the process was definitely not easy at all.
This situation clearly shows how people react when facing change. At first, they resist, but over the time, they can adapt when they are supported.
And that's exactly what we hope from the start, not just for them to accept it, but truly grow.
Because with the right support, people can go through change even when it's difficult. They just need continuous guidance.
But for me, the most important thing is patience. Not everyone can adapt at the same pace.
And trust within the team also plays a big role. When people feel confident and safe, it's easier for them to change.
In the end, all of this isn't just about system or technology, but about people learning to adapt and grow.
Looking at everyone here today, I feel truly proud. We've gone through a journey filled with challenges, fear, and uncertainty, yet we endured and continued to grow.
I've personally seen how this team has changed, not just in terms of skills, but also in the way we think and face change.
I admit, at the beginning I was very doubtful and afraid of the impact of AI, but now I realize most of that fear came from a lack of understanding.
This experience proves that people are capable of adapting to change when they are given time, support, and space to better understand the situation.
What I've learned the most is the importance of supporting one another, because it makes the process of change easier and less overwhelming.
From a logical perspective, change is something unavoidable, so we need to focus on how to adapt rather than resist reality. I used to be very afraid of being replaced, but now I understand that this change is actually helping me grow into a better version of myself.
I see this change as an opportunity to learn and improve, even though I understand it's not easy for everyone at the beginning.
We grow with AI, not against it.